Imagine dedicating an entire year of your life to a single job. Every morning, you wake up knowing that your efforts might never truly be recognized. You pour yourself into every meeting, every project, every client presentation, going above and beyond, often skipping meals, sometimes even sacrificing sleep. You stay late into the evenings, working tirelessly to ensure deadlines are met, reports are flawless, and your team is performing at its peak. Every detail is accounted for, every contingency planned for. You do this not for recognition or applause, but because you believe in your work, because you take pride in excellence, and because you know that at the end of the year, your dedication will be rewarded. And yet after all of that, after every late night and every ounce of effort, it still isn't enough. The promotion that everyone, including you, knew you deserved, goes to someone else. Someone who smiles at you, laughs with you in the break room, acts as if they've been your ally from day one, but all along has been carefully maneuvering to take everything you've worked for. Michael, my colleague, my teammate on paper, but in reality, a manipulative, cunning strategist who knew exactly how to undermine me while keeping up appearances. I remember the exact moment I found out. I was walking down the hall after a particularly grueling client presentation, still replaying the graphs, the numbers, the key points I had spent hours perfecting. My phone buzzed. The HR manager's email appeared on the screen. Promotion announcement. Michael Hayes has been selected as senior project lead. My stomach dropped. My chest tightened. My hands felt cold and clammy as if I had suddenly lost control over my own body. I froze mid-step, staring at the screen. At first disbelief, then humiliation, then rage, burning hotter than I could have anticipated. Every nerve in my body screamed. But I forced myself to breathe, to remain calm, because I realized something crucial in that moment. Michael had underestimated me. He assumed I would react emotionally, irrationally, but I had something he didn't: patience, planning, and the ability to strike with precision when the time was right. Michael had built a reputation carefully, layer by layer. Outwardly charming, witty, polished, someone everyone liked and respected. But beneath that surface, he was calculating and ruthless, using charm as a shield for deception. I had unknowingly played into his hands for months. He manipulated emails, forwarded selective messages to the boss, subtly removed my contributions from project reports. Every week he bolstered his image as the indispensable, brilliant professional, while quietly undermining me at every turn. The initial storm of anger and humiliation was nearly paralyzing. My chest ached, my stomach twisted, my hands trembled. I wanted to confront him immediately, to scream, to demand answers. But I knew better. Acting on raw emotion would be reckless. Revenge, if it is to be truly satisfying, must be precise, calculated, and inevitable. So I waited, silently observing, biding my time, letting the seed of opportunity grow. Opportunity came sooner than expected. A week later, during a critical client call, Michael made a mistake, a significant one. He misrepresented key data, glossed over errors, and misled the client, confident that no one would notice. But I did. And in that moment, as he stuttered and attempted to cover his errors, I realized this was my opening, the crack in his armor, the mistake that could be magnified into a devastating revelation. That night, I began meticulously gathering evidence. I stayed up late into the night, cataloging every email, every report, every chat log, every client complaint or miscommunication that reflected his negligence or deception. Each piece of evidence was cross-referenced, time-stamped, and organized to create a clear, undeniable picture. What had started as humiliation became a weapon of precision. With each document I archived, each email I printed and sorted, I felt my sense of control returning. The rage I had felt transformed into focus. I was no longer the victim. I was the strategist, the one who would set the stage for justice. I watched him closely over the following days. Every interaction, every email, every casual conversation, every laugh or boast, all noted. I rehearsed in my mind how I would present the evidence, how I would maintain calm while letting the documents speak for themselves. I envisioned the conference room, the boss's reactions, the collective tension as the truth unfolded. Each scenario refined my plan, each imagined reaction sharpening my strategy. I approached the boss under the guise of transparency. For clarity and accountability, I can prepare a detailed review of project contributions, I suggested casually. The boss agreed, assuming it was a standard professional procedure. Little did he know, this review would serve as the instrument of Michael's undoing. Presentation day arrived. The conference room was filled with the team. Michael entered, confident, smiling, shaking hands, completely unaware of the storm approaching. I began my presentation with a calm, almost conversational tone, as if nothing unusual were happening. But then I clicked to the first slide. The story began to unfold. Every manipulated email, every missed deadline, every client complaint ignored or dismissed, every instance where he had claimed, "My work is his own," all meticulously documented and displayed. Each slide built upon the last, gradually revealing the full scope of deception. The room went silent. Michael's smile faltered. His posture shifted subtly. His fingers fidgeted nervously. Sweat formed on his forehead. He stammered when asked questions, trying and failing to explain himself. Every eye in the room was fixed on the unfolding evidence. The tension was palpable. Every detail, every carefully curated piece of evidence amplified the impact. I paused deliberately at key moments, letting silence do the work. The weight of each revelation sank in. Michael's facade, carefully constructed over months, was collapsing layer by layer. I could see panic in his eyes, the dawning understanding that his carefully maintained image was crumbling. The realization that he had underestimated me hit him like a freight train. Finally, I spoke, calm and measured, letting the words carry their full weight. I thought it was necessary for everyone to see accountability at every level. The room seemed heavier with the gravity of that statement. The boss nodded, impressed and concerned, and said, "Jordan, thank you for this. I'll update the records immediately." Michael's reaction was everything I had imagined. Confidence evaporated, credibility shattered. The promotion he had stolen, the perception he had carefully crafted, everything disintegrated. And the most satisfying part? I didn't have to yell. I didn't have to humiliate him verbally. Every move had been calculated, every step precise. By the time he realized the full extent of the exposure, it was too late. Justice had been served, silent but undeniable. In the following weeks, Michael's presence at the office became tense, awkward. Colleagues hesitated to consult him. Meetings that had once been dominated by his confident voice now felt strained. Every interaction reminded him of the exposure. Meanwhile, my recognition at work grew. Leadership roles, client interactions, and project responsibilities naturally flowed back to me. The stolen promotion faded into irrelevance, its significance replaced by credibility, respect, and recognition I had rightfully earned. As I reflected on the ordeal, a clear lesson emerged. True revenge is not about confrontation, shouting, or emotional outbursts. It's about patience, strategy, and timing. It's about observing, documenting, and waiting for the perfect moment when your plan lands with precision. It's about letting someone realize, too late, that their arrogance and underestimation of you cost them everything. That is the kind of revenge that lingers. That is the kind of revenge that feels righteous. That is the kind of revenge that is worth every sleepless night, every ounce of mental energy, every careful calculation. If you've ever been betrayed, undermined, or left powerless at work, take this to heart. Channel that energy into strategy. Observe, document, plan, wait. The payoff will be more satisfying than any instant outburst of rage. It is precise, undeniable, and unforgettable. Michael learned that the hard way. He underestimated me, and that mistake cost him everything he had worked for, while I walked away with dignity, credibility, and the quiet satisfaction of justice served cold. So if this story gave you chills, hit that like button. Comment below, have you ever faced betrayal at work? What's the most satisfying revenge you've ever witnessed? And don't forget to subscribe for more stories where karma comes knocking in the most unforgettable ways.